Really tough loss here for New England. They lost 30-17 for the Arizona Cardinals. But I'm going to be honest, with the toughest strength of schedule in the remaining games against the Cardinals, the Bills twice, and the Chargers, I'm not going to say I had my hopes very high for a game like this to come out and really disrupt the Arizona Cardinals, who are fighting for a spot in the playoffs right now. But there were a few things from a few players that I did see that could be used as a positive moving forward. I understand that right now it's very hard to have success as the New England Patriots. You're dealing with injuries. You're dealing with a lot of stuff. And not to mention, we just weren't set to be the top team in the NFL this year anyways. But I am still seeing some growing pains from some players in the offense and some defense that can possibly affect the Patriots moving forward, and to see what their free agency and their NFL draft is going to look like. So before I break down the ins and the outs of today's loss, I do want to go ahead and ask you guys one more question. Like I just said, you had the Arizona Cardinals, the Chargers, and the Buffalo Bills twice, who at this time and moment are in the fourth quarter winning by 20 against the Detroit Lions. Will New England win another ball game this year? Because if you say no, then a lot of my videos are going to start looking like that first pick in the NFL draft. But if you say yes, well, we might have some things to discuss. Go on ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. Let's talk about, personally, my favorite player on the New England Patriots team, and I think the best player on the offense, Drake Maye. He was coming off a phenomenal game against the Colts the week ahead of the bye, and I do think he had another phenomenal game. Once again, he will find himself in the interception category. This does make 9 straight games with an interception from Drake Maye. But once again, it was one of those interceptions where Drake Maye threw the ball slightly behind Kayshon Boutte, a little bit low. One of those plays where if Kayshon Boutte had just kind of slid his legs out, it would have been a first down and a completion. But instead, Kayshon Boutte decides to kind of twist his body back, ball hits his hands, and pops up into the defender's hands, and that is what is categorized as an interception. A throw that Drake Maye completed to try to get the receiver out of harm's way turns out to now reflect Drake Maye's box score. Other than that, 19 for 23. I mean, the completions are getting better. He did not have an incomplete pass in the first half. 202 yards with a beautiful bomb to Kendrick Bourne deep down the field late in the ball game. And then, of course, Kendrick Bourne, obviously his longest being 37 yards, total 44 yards, 3 receptions. You still have the lack of a receiver problem going on for New England, which, of course, we will address constantly in the offseason with free agency and with the draft coming up. But I will talk about the run game here, and I thankfully am back in the positive category of discussing the run game. Rhamondre Stevenson. There has been several games where Rhamondre has had less than 20 rushing yards on probably about 15 carries. So to see him have 13 carries for 69 yards, he looked like a shell of his week 1 and week 2 performance. His longest run being 15 yards. I mean, the guy was running with aggression. The guy was running with intent, which I do think if Rhamondre keeps this up, we are still solidified in the run game for next year. And I do think that does go hand in hand with Antonio Gibson, who I will stamp it right now. This is the best pickup Elliott Wolf had in the offseason. I would maybe contend with Austin Hooper, but Antonio Gibson is the perfect complement for Rhamondre Stevenson. 7 carries for 33 yards, his longest being a 29-yard run. Not to mention, that almost set them up for a scoring play, but Alex Van Pelt, who decided twice to not run a quarterback sneak on the 1-yard line to get into the end zone, will turn into a 4th down opportunity. They tried to run it once more, and they turned it over. I can't with Alex Van Pelt right now. That's a whole different story. Austin Hooper, Hunter Henry, obviously still your top pass catchers for the game. The tight ends continue to showcase why they are Drake Maye's kind of last hope here. Jalen Polk was in several different personnel versions today, but really didn't put up a good fight. Pop Douglas didn't get involved until late in the ball game, and I do actually blame more Alex Van Pelt for that. I don't know why he strays away from things that work time and time again. But like I said, AVP is a completely different story. But nonetheless, the offense just couldn't get it done. Or should I say the defense just didn't have a great time stopping. So before I hop into what the defense did here for New England, let me go ahead and tell you guys real quick about Game Time. This is the best app to get tickets to any sporting event, concert, comedy show out there. Any event that you need a ticket, use Game Time. Why? Because number one, you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed. Number two, it is all-in pricing, which means you're going to have the total price up front at checkout. And my personal favorite, you get to see the view from your seat in the app before you buy the nice little 3D 180 panoramic view. And Game Time Picks makes it super easy to see your teams play live, even easier. All you guys have to do is just use Game Time Picks feature, which fluffs out all of the mess and just picks the best tickets at the best price for your event. That way you're not spending all of your time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. If you guys want to go on ahead and get started, download the Game Time app today. Use promo code ChatSports. That will give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Use promo code ChatSports after you download the Game Time app. This will give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. What time is it? It is game time. Kyler Murray, a very impressive day for the mobile quarterback. He really didn't have to use his legs, which he normally does, moving outside the pocket because James Conner pretty much did that job for him. But 23 on 30 completions and attempts, I mean, the secondary just wasn't there. And most of these plays really did come in the flats, which really hurt us. Harping on another reason why we do need to bolster the defense, because when you look at their top receiver, 2 catches on 32 yards, he was absolutely locked down, seatbelt defense by Christian Gonzalez. Surprised? Neither am I. But now if you've got their top receiver locked down, how are they going to complete 23 of their passes that Kyler Murray did? He found so many open holes, so many dump-offs to Trey McBride. 9 receptions, 87 yards, and he's a good pass catcher. I'm not going to take this away from him. But there were so many attempts the pocket was collapsing on so many different attempts that Kyler Murray had to take himself out of the pocket, had pressure coming, but he still continuously found receivers that had more than 5 yards of cushion, giving Marvin Harrison Jr., giving Trey McBride, giving their top pass catchers. As if you don't know, Kyler Murray's last bet is to throw. The defense just looked like they were a play behind, not even mentioning Greg Dortch. I mean, 3 catches on 60 yards. There were so many plays where they could have just locked them down, moved to a 4th down type of possession if they had just played a little tighter of coverage on their top pass catchers. Not to mention the run game. I mean, I can't really speak too heavily on them. We kind of knew James Conner was going to run all over him. 16 carries for 110 yards. Look, James Conner does this against good defenses. So it's just kind of who he is, but a 53-yard run. The defense definitely didn't help. On that 53-yard run, it was one of those lines of attacks where Jabril Peppers just kind of came up and stood right next to the linebackers, and I think his protection was just a little bit too tight, where he should have been playing back with a guy like Conner. But nonetheless, just unfortunate for the Patriots defense, which was once a top 10 defense in the NFL, now falling to the bottom of the barrel. So I want you guys to go ahead and grade your Patriots performance versus the Cardinals. I'm just going to give it a C+. I thought I saw some good from the offense. I thought that there were some plays from the defense, like a Christian Ellis, like a Christian Gonzalez, that are going to give me hope moving forward. But nonetheless, just kind of worked out the way that I thought it was going to work out. A loss to the New England Patriots, which I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I just try to be realistic. So that's what you guys are looking for. Then go on ahead and do one thing for me and hit that sub button for me on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We had 19,000 subscribers today, and I could not do that without you guys. So through the good, bad, and the ugly, we will always say, go Patriots.